Oh, let's do this. Friday night teaching stream. All right. Let's see what we got. I'll open up the comments. Let's do this. Here we go. All right, people have to kind of get rolling in here, but so what we're going to do is we'll do some, so I'm just going to do a run out. We'll look at it together, right? Let's say like here and here. All right. We're going to have a ball down here. We're going to have we're going to have a ball over here. Okay, we'll go here. Might as well go here. And then we'll go here. Okay. So we're going to throw out some stickers. We're going to do a layout, and we're going to go through some ideas about what order we shoot the balls in and why it's important, and where we can get in trouble, and how we can kind of understand some run-out concepts. So this is a variation of one of the runouts that I have. It's somewhere in this range. I have a runout series on the channel. It's for members only, so it's for joined members. They have access to it. It has 6 different concepts, right? And those concepts are stop roll patterns, which is kind of the base of how I like to play 8-ball and also, I like to clear my trouble first. So where my trouble is, I like to clear it. So there's a video on stop roll patterns, 4 videos. There's 4 videos with PDFs. There's like PDF layouts with clearing your trouble first examples. And then the other one is congestion. When balls are congested, I'm going to go through that. And then also there's zones. The table has essentially 3 zones. Sometimes 2, right? You have a half line here, 1 zone, 2 zone, or you could have a zone here, a zone in the middle, and a zone in the end. And that's the 4th. And then the 5th is breakouts. When do you break out shots? What do you want to look for when you break out shots? There's some videos on breakouts. And then the 6th video is multi-ball position, and that's really important for playing 8-ball. You want to have an idea of how to run the balls out, and you want to have a good solid pattern based on those first 5 concepts that I just named off. And then if you can sprinkle in multi-ball position throughout that run out, then you're really, really, really cooking. It's really, really nice from there, because we're not always going to strike the cue ball and the object ball exactly perfectly the way we want, so we have to have some options to make some changes. And the whole thing with multi-ball position is that it's a critical component of pool in 8-ball, but it's just an element, and it's intentional. It's not unintentional, it's intentional. And I think a lot of people sort of say, oh, multi-ball position, I play that way, but it's kind of more unintentional. They sort of float around and sort of shoot balls and kind of shoot here and there kind of stuff. So instead of like being intentionally choosing a pattern that allows for you to play the multi-ball position. So anyways, that's not tonight, multi-ball position. Tonight, we're going to go through, and we are going to, this run out that I just made up right now is going to be, there's going to be some elements to it. And the first element is going to be kind of a congestion and a clearing trouble situation. These balls on the center, in the center, they're trouble, essentially, because the reason why they're trouble in a run out is because you either have to be shooting them in the corner from distance, or you're going to be shooting them in the side with angles, and they don't really lead to key balls really well. Like, they don't work as key balls because they don't really lead to the 8-ball nicely. And the reason why they don't lead to the 8-ball nicely, and I'll show you the difference in how we choose a key ball on this layout. The reason why they don't lead to an 8-ball nicely is because they have multiple rails involved at times, right? Especially when you get at angles, you end up having to, or up here, like say this was your last ball here, right? And you end up in this type of zone. It's like you're not really gonna shoot to the corner there, you're gonna shoot it in the side, and you're gonna hit at least 1 or 2 or 3 rails on it. And that's kind of, the more rails you add, the more things that can go wrong. So that's why I say stop roll patterns and things like that. The more this cue ball travels, the more things that can go wrong for beginner to intermediate players. You have to get to like a high, like advanced to like near professional level to be able to move this cue ball around the table with multiple rails accurately. So if we're talking about beginner to intermediate pools, which is mostly what I teach on this channel and who I'm working with our joint members and things, then minimal cue ball movement is super critical, because if you don't have the understanding of how this cue ball works, if you don't have like a super intimate understanding and control over it, then you want it to move as little as possible, right? That's why this ball is not a good key ball, because if you end up here, you're gonna have to hit multiple rails to come down to here to get on this ball. Same with if you're over here. Now all of a sudden you're hitting spinny, draggy shots, or you're over here and you're hitting a drag shot with draw and you're spinning in and you're coming out. It's just, it's a lot of stuff going on, and it's very difficult to control those elements, versus where you'll see my key ball on this situation is the 13 ball. And the reason why is because this ball leads to the 13 after these are cleared out with very minimal movement, and that goes right down there with not much going on. There's not a lot of like movement of the cue ball as far as like multiple rail movement and spin and all that. It's mostly just a rolling ball to come down for the 8. So let me grab my cues, and we're gonna hit the pattern, and then we'll do some what can go wrongs, right? We'll shoot the pattern in a different order, and we'll just kind of go from there. So I've done this before on videos, but if you're new to watching me train and things, the way I start is I start with a stop shot. So if I come to the table and I have ball in hand, I'm gonna start with a stop shot, and I'm gonna say, if this ball was right here, where would I be on the 14? I would roll forward through on this side of the 14, and I would be in position for the 12. So if I just simply hit a stop shot, I can just roll forward to here, and then I can roll forward to from the 12 to the 13. But I start with a stop shot. And the reason why is because if I hit a stop shot and I slide over this way, well, now my pattern is messed up. Now I'm really adding a bunch of rails, and my whole pattern is kind of gonzo. And so what I do is I start with my stop shot, and I say, okay, I have to hit a stop shot, and it should not be a stop shot that's loose and goes over here. It shouldn't be a stop shot that's loose that's over here. It should be an exact stop shot. So I'd put this here, and I'd look, and I'd say, all right, if I stop here, not where the 10 is, I don't want to start rolling forward, because now I'm going away from the 12 as well. I look and say, okay, I just need to hit an exact stop shot. So I put the cue ball up, and I hit an exact stop shot. And I don't hit my stop shot from here, right, or even here, because there's more movement. I go here because I know that all I'm going to do is go like that. It's not going to go anywhere. So then I go and look, and I say, okay, if I hit a stop shot here, I'm no good. If I replace the 14, I'm no good. 1 ball forward, too much angle. 2 balls, 3 balls forward. I want to be right here, and I don't want to be any farther than like here, right? I don't want to be straight, because then I'm going to have to deal with this channel. So I'm going to kind of roll forward, and I'm going to want to be somewhere from here, okay? Let's just do it with dots so you can see it. Let's build our pattern with dots, because this is how I train. This is what I do in these run-out series, is I do what's the farthest part of the zone this zone that I'm going to roll through, what's the farthest part of the zone I want to be? I'd say right about here. Now, this is a good zone in the middle. I like that. That's fine. You might, if you saw last week's training, it's very similar. It's just a different layout, different concepts. And then I'm going to go, I don't want to be much further than this. And then I look and say, well, if I'm over here, can I still make it work? Yes, because I can add a little check. But in general, if I get here, can I make it work? Yeah, but I'm going to be frozen on the rail, or I'm going to have to push through and come out to get off the rail. So those are the type of things that I look at. So I have this zone built. So I'd start, and then I have to decide, do I want to float into that zone or come back and off the rail? I think I want to come back and off the rail, because then I can accelerate through. Push through, back, and off the rail, and I'm right on the farthest part of my zone, but I was able to accelerate and hit a nice shot and be perfect on my zone. Okay, who's here? Ha-ha! Haunts your dreams, exactly. I don't know if this is 1.1 intermediate. I literally just made this one up. It's more so Jared about clearing the congestion in the middle, so I think that might be farther down from 1.1. But anyways, not here to start beef with you, bro. Okay, so now we got to look from the 12. Now we're in our zone for the first zone. Now we're going to come off the rail and we're going to go forward. Now we have to look and see how far down do we want to be. I don't want to be that far down. I actually want to be up in this area right here. Okay, I'm fine with that. It's a little bit shallow, but I can make it work. This is a little bit better. Okay, I like that. And this is fine too. It comes all the way up to up to here, right? I'm okay from there. So now I'm going to hit into this zone, and I'm going to practice going into that part of the zone right now. And I'm going to look at my angle and say, wow, now that I see it, this thing actually wants to come across. I'm actually going to have to stun it to keep it up high. So I will add just a little bit of almost like a drag shot to keep the cue ball up high. Just like that. I just kind of added a little drag, and I went to the low 2/3 of the zone. And now I come back and I find this very familiar shot, okay? There's a 45-degree reference line, and it basically comes over one diamond. So this is almost 45. It's maybe a little shallow, probably 40-ish or whatever. So I think if I run this forward, it's going to come down right into this part of the rail and leave me on the 8. So I look at it and say, well, at this angle, it could hit this point here. If it's coming here and I mishit it a little bit, my big danger is coming down, is hitting this point and scratching. So I'm going to look at it and I'm going to say, I think if I hit here at this angle that it's going to come in, from here to here, I think it might come out towards this range. So, the other thing I could do is I could hit some outside English and check it down the line, right? And have it come straight down here. The only issue with that is I'm on the low side of my zone, so the cue ball's wanting to go in this direction. So I would have to really fight the ball to get it to go straight. And I'd have to hit it really hard to change the path. So I want to hit it as effortlessly as I can and just sweep it in the pocket and play shape on the 8. So I'm going to design the shot to hit right about here and come down for the 8 and use this as my key ball. And it's just basically a push shot with a high ball. Just like that. And see, there's really nothing going on with that shot to get down table. Yes, it's a far distance and it's 9 feet, but it's 9 direct feet pretty much. It's not 9 feet covered over 3 or 4 different rails. So that's kind of what I was talking about before. And I guess to be fair, we would have done the same thing in this zone for the 8. You could come all the way down to this end rail, frozen-ish, and then you could come all the way up to here range and kind of everything in between. And what you want to avoid is this channel for the 8. So we'll keep that in mind too. This channel we want to avoid here, and this channel we want to avoid here for the ball before the 8, the key ball. So that's how the run out gets built. We'd shoot in the 8, of course, and that's it. So we'll set it back up. And will take it from the top, and now you've seen the run out, okay? You've seen the reasoning behind it. I explained before I shot the reasoning, minimal cue ball movement, simple stop roll pattern, using a key ball that, yes, it's the farthest ball away from the 8, and that can be, like for beginners, that can be like mind-blowing. For intermediate, it can be stressful. Also, there's a pocket here, and so for intermediate and beginners, it can be stressful to come down here where there's a pocket. And so the way we do this is, in my training series, I actually start from this position and I work backwards on these runouts. And I start from this high position, and like I said, on this high position, I think you can almost hit it straight and just put a whisper of left on it. See how it stays up and doesn't go towards the pocket? It did a little bit, and then we're in the channel, which isn't great, but we're so close. Bob's still your uncle. But this is what I would do, is I would look at it and say, okay, I hit that one pretty thin. The other thing is thickness is gonna bring me over here. So the good thing about thin on that shot, because not only am I trying to teach people patterns, I'm trying to teach you guys how to learn what's happening with thickness, which is basically everything in pool, and because it's going to dictate the angle and the speed, and then any sort of like spin or not, let's say, yeah, any kind of spin. So I start with thickness, and then I have spin is kind of my last thing. I'm going to use thickness to work my angle on this shot. And if anything, I'll just sprinkle some spin, and I would tell you the reasons why. So on this shot, I'm gonna hit a little bit of left English, just a thinking a left, to hold this check line out this way. And I'm gonna hit it thin because I wanna be able to hit it kind of soft. Like that. Uh-oh. Oh no. Okay. And then when you mishit it, you set it back up, and you say, okay, probably didn't add, and because now we can really identify what went wrong on this shot, right? What went wrong on that shot is that I meant to hit left, and I switched to center at the end, because if I hit that ball and hit it in the center pocket like I did, kind of thin, and I have left on it, like true left, like just a tip of left, it's not gonna do what it just did. It's gonna come out and away from the scratch. So first you gotta make it. So, okay, let's do it again. And now that I've hit it a couple times, I'm realizing, ooh, I wanna make sure I hit it not too thin, but I don't wanna hit it thick, and then I just wanna ensure that I hit left, like that. See, I stuck with my left, and I got it to check down this line and had no jeopardy of the pocket or the channel. So I had to hit a couple, get used to it, figure it out, solve the shot. And then I did that, which is yay pool, that's great. Now I know that when I get into that zone right there, I have a path down that I like. I have the button solved. But also, what's great about these runouts and working through these series is that it's teaching me the physics, the geometry, the biomechanics. It's teaching me everything, the strategy. I'm teaching which way to shoot it. And I'm also able to work on my mental game, because I'm training and I'm saying, I don't get upset when I scratch. I just set it up. I just calmly think about what happened, and then I solve for the right solution. So let's see, who else is here? Oh. It's not, bro. Bro, I wrote the series. It's not 1.1. It's not. I don't have a, okay, whatever. Okay, you got it in front of you. You got me. If you say it is, it is. All right. I feel like you're gaslighting me, Jared. Okay, let's go. What? Okay, now we're gonna do it. So we solved the first one. Now we're gonna solve the second one, right? And if we hit the same shot with less angle, let's try that shot first and see what happens. Same shot with less angle. I think it's gonna go slower. Yeah, see, it slows the cue ball down because it's a little bit, it gets into that rail a little bit at a different angle, a different thickness, let's say, right? Because I can only hit it so thin and still make it. Same with as I get down further. If I get down to the further one, it's gonna slow it down even more if I hit the same shot. See how it slows it down? It slows it down even more. So because of thickness, hit them on the rail. So, okay, so but we're learning about physics and we're learning about geometry while we adjust these different zone areas, right? And then the other thing we learn is which 2/3 of this zone do we like? I've talked about this before. Which 2/3 of the pocket do we like? Which 2/3 of the zone do we like? I like the high 2/3 and I like the thin 2/3, the center and the far side of the pocket. And the reason why is because I can hit it off the facing and then I can hit it thin and it'll keep the energy up like that. See how quiet it is for me to come down? That's a very quiet shot, meaning not a lot going on, not a poundy shot, not anything. And the reason why is because I was able to hit it to the thin side, the thin 2/3, center right, and I was up on the high 2/3, which left me a really nice angle. So as I get down on this shot and I get down to the low 2/3 and I get to the fat 2/3 and I'm not paying attention, I hit that same shot, I start looking like that. It starts changing my angle here and slowing the cue ball down. So when I play pool and I'm learning while I'm doing these runouts and I'm trying to teach you guys, you have to pay attention to this angle. These differences matter, and I'm not just putting these dots out here because I'm trying to like sell you guys something. I'm actually putting these dots out here so I can show you guys how to teach yourself the difference in the nuance between. Okay, you got it, Jared, you're right. You know better than I do, okay? All right, you're right. So, what are we talking about again? No, I'm just saying that these dots are critically important because it shows us the different angles, right? And then we realize that as we stay up here, but we go over, now it gets really thin, right? And as we come down this line, it's the same thing. It gets really thin as we come down. As we come down this line, we have more opportunity to make the ball being less thin. So this zone has more of a pie type of shape to it, like most zones do. So that's the other thing with these zones is that these dots are here and they're meant to like extend through and see. So like if I'm up here and I'm back of my zone and I ended up here, it's the same shot. It's just a little bit of outside and just push it in kind of thin. And I checked it and got a little close to the 8, which is fine. Because it was so thin that it wasn't gonna come all the way across. If I was down a little thicker and hit that same wipey shot, I could have ended up here on the ball. So anyways, that's the reason why these zones are like this and the importance of having them out there in a training and sort of idea setup is that when I'm playing, I see this zone when I'm playing 8-ball on a bar table. I'll know that if I'm going down to the 13 that I know that this is not good. You know, coming down here for the 13, it's you gotta hit it, pound it, do all that stuff, and yeah, it can work, but that's a lot noisier and a lot harder to execute than just a simple shot. And basically what I'm saying, guys, is that I don't want to be down here because I don't want it to pound it. I literally just want to go once, twice, push. So when I'm here up high like this, all it comes down to is my aim and my thickness and a little whisper of spin, and once, twice, and then I just push it and it comes straight. See how quiet that is? It's like once, twice, push versus wham from the less angle, from the lesser angle shot. So that's the other thing that I'm hoping you guys will take away from this runout series and this kind of, once you join the channel, wink, wink, is that that this is how you're going to build your game. You're going to build the physics and geometry, and you're going to build the strategy because you're going to learn from these runouts what order to shoot the balls in because that's critical, and you're also going to understand how to get into these zones and why these zones are so critical. All right, what's up? What are you talking about, bro? Are you talking about from here? Are you talking about from here? Are you crazy? I'm just kidding. You mean this shot? Look at how loud this shot is. You know, are you talking about short side 2 rails like that? I mean, I don't know. It's a lot. I mean, I'm trying to teach top roll patterns, bro. What are you talking about? Well, what do you mean? Except this, oh, you're gonna have to be more specific, Jared. What do you mean? Did you mean that shot I just hit, or do you mean something different? Let me see what you mean. Accept distance for the proper angle. Tell me what you're talking about, bro. Okay, I'm gonna set this up and we're gonna go back to how we build these runouts. Well, Jared's asking questions. Type. I don't know, you'll get there. All right, so now we're here. Now we have this zone coming down. And on this zone from here, I have this in my video. This comes up. Basically, what I'm gonna do is, I don't wanna have to push this shot here. Snap it in, right? I mean, I can, on that particular shot, okay, that's fine. But not getting too low on that 13. I still don't understand what you're saying, bro. Do you mean this shot? Okay, so this is a shot that I wouldn't want to pound, but I'd want to come out up to. Do you mean this shot? Because that's a shot that I want to show you guys. That's a two-rail shot that happens in. Oh, okay, I don't know. Anyways, that's the shot I'll shoot when I'm really flat. Is I'll come down and add this rail and come out to create an angle, because I don't want to be here and come with this setup right here. See, this is, let's say I'm right there, okay? And I try to pound it out, right? And I end up here. This is a really bad spot to be in. So this is one of the angles that, shit, I might have done this last week. But this is, I'm gonna say it again. This is the shot. You can just hit it straight. You don't need a bunch of inside on it. And you can just hit it down. And inside on that shot, I'll show you what happens with inside, because that's a pretty Yahtzee spot to be. Yar, I don't know what yar means. Whatever, bro. Bro, people love that video that you did with me, by the way. That was sick. And people love the fit. Okay, watch what happens with inside on this shot, because you think you need inside. This is the problem with inside. You don't need inside on the shot. So that's why we have to set these shots up. That's the benefit of setting these shots up and hitting them, is that you'll start realizing how the wrong way to hit them is, right? Because a lot of people think, oh, I got to get this off the side rail, so we need that inside to help it. And it's like, no, that inside gets wacky. We don't need that, because we're really trying to hit this zone here. So we actually need to think it through and think about this angle, comes to here without any spin at all. That's the way we would play that angle. But if we don't hit these shots and understand what to do, we'll never know. I found it. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm working here, Jared. No, just kidding, Jared. Okay, so then we have this decision tree shot where it's like we got to decide, and with this much angle, it just doesn't look like much, but I think we're good just popping it like that, right? And going to the 13, goes to the... So when I'm training, I'll hit from these spots like this, and I'll also add the other ball. I would suggest you run them out all the way to the 8, because you want to be able to get these shots. I want to be able to get into this zone and have a nice shot on this 80% of the time, after I can go from all these sort of zone areas and get on the 8 80% of the time. So first I'm going to train from here, down here, not hitting this point, not scratching, and succeeding 80%. Once I got that, I'm going to put my next ball in, and I'm going to start shooting from these zones and figuring out my percentage, okay? So when I'm on this part of the zone, I look at it and say, okay, this is very natural, and I have to be careful, because if I just hit it with follow, I'm going to creep down. And I'll show you how that looks. If I hit it with follow, because I want to follow into that zone, it's going to creep down just like that. And now I'm into that dead zone that I don't want, where I have to like pound it to get it around the table. Diaz, what's up, bro? Okay, yeah. I don't know. I think we got it solved. Let me know if I missed anything. Just type it in there. But I think we're past that point. Okay, so that's it. So when I was on this part of the zone, actually the shot is to almost have like a left English check on it, right? See how it checks and holds up high? And even with that check, it came down into this low zone. So you have to think, okay, wow, that really maybe isn't enough angle. And if I'm at that angle, I'm learning that I actually have to hit a little stun on it. And I don't even need outside. I can just stun it right across. And that gets me my perfect angle to hit my nice little quiet wipey shot, just like that, right? And I'm just sitting there and doing these over and over and over again and getting through them and learning, right? Because it's very critical that we learn how these angles, the physics and the geometry work together, right? Because the angle that I have here really matters. Like, if I'm gonna have this particular angle, I can't go forward into this spot. I can only go forward into that spot when I start coming out with more angle, or like not forward, but high. So here I can hit more of a center ball and just kind of push it off and keep it up high. And the difference between here and here is the difference between here and here with the cue ball. And I think that there's so much value in spending time in these angles and watching where that cue ball goes. That's all I'm gonna tell you guys, is that there's a ton of value in these run-out series, and this is for our members as well that do these run-out series. Like, it really matters to pay attention to these details. And then when you get to the table, like, the reason why I can teach this stuff is because I've gone through it and I know how it works. I know that when I have more angle, the ball wants to stay up high. When I have less angle, even slightly less angle, it definitely wants to dribble down. So if I'm here, it's a little like stun shot. If I'm here, if I stun it, I'll probably end up here, and I could start stunning out like here. I could start stunning out to here. So it's like I have to be very careful. Like this shot, I would not stun. This shot, I would just dribble in and push and hold that high angle. And as I told you, the more angle I get, the more the cue ball wants to cross over. And now I have this angle, which is a little steeper than that angle, which is fine because I know that that's just gonna help me stay towards the 8 a little better. So I get down once, twice, I just push it through thin with a cut, and it goes right down to the table. See, no jeopardy of scratching, not a loud shot, not a power shot, not a poundy shot, just a stop shot. I mean, a roll shot, rather. All right, okay. So where are we? So that's coming into this zone is important, right? So now we're gonna start here. And now we kind of understand that. So now we're gonna go back to here and we're gonna say, okay, it's a stop shot from here. We all agree it's a stop shot, right? And we start looking, what if I didn't have a stop shot? What if I went here? Now do I wanna hit that shot off the rail? Maybe, you know, it's just farther away. It's just only about a foot farther away. And now it's a little flat. It's a little farther away, but I think it's gonna come out and leave me here, which is right at the top of this zone, and I'm off the channel. So I don't mind this. I don't mind this. I don't even need to cheat the pocket or do anything. I can just make sure that I make it and have it naturally stun out to exactly where I pushed. Now I got this nice high angle that we know we like, and we just push it in quietly, and there's no chance I'm ever gonna scratch, right? Okay. I hit it a little thin, probably lost my spin. Now I'm sitting with a chair on my leg and I'm stuck on the rail and I hate it. But I still hit it and it's fine because whatever, it's easy, easy game. Okay, so we can start playing from zones that are farther away. We can start seeing how that affects our shot making and makes the game more difficult at times, but that's fine. We can even go back and say, all right, well, what do we do if we get like here, right? Now we're going towards the 9. Well, we could realize that we can't touch the rail because we're gonna go past the 9. So we're gonna look at the 12 and we're gonna say, all right, if I'm here, that's really a little far, but I remember that right here is pretty good. So I only need to go forward about 4 inches. So if I hit into the thick part of this pocket, the cue ball is going to stay here. If I cut into the thin part of the pocket, cue ball is going to go towards the 9. So I'm going to push it really quiet towards the thick part of the pocket, just a couple rotations of the cue ball, and now I'm back in line. I didn't have to panic. I didn't have to freak out. Now I'm going to hit it, and I'm going to try to hit it a little thick with a little check and just hold it up to the high side of this line because I have a little angle but nothing crazy. So thinking of outside and thick and just push it, just like that. And I stayed right up on the high side of my line, nice and quiet. I remember I got to hit it just a little thicker and make sure I stay to the side of that ball. Oh no, what happened? I tried to hit a little thicker and I put too much left on it, and I still have a shot in the 8, but it's a little nerve-wracking, right? Because I want to hit here nice and smooth. So I don't like that shot, so I would maybe go back and even set that shot up again, or I just plug it into my memory bank and say, okay, let's remember that for next time and keep moving forward because it worked. But in part of the thing I could realize is, you know, if I lose my attention to detail and I shoot too fast and I'm paying attention to something else, I could have problems. I could have like big problems. Like I could mess up from this 13 to the 8. That's why when people say, oh, you wouldn't believe the mistake I made and how I lost in league or something, and I got to stop missing these easy shots. It's like, well, the game's harder than you think, and you got to be really locked in to hit the shots. And all you can do is go through your training, get your pre-shot routine, figure out how to run these balls out, stay present, give it your best shot, and hope you don't run into the 8 ball and get hooked on it. I mean, that's all you can do. So, okay, let's see what else we got. All right, okay, we're done from that side. So now what do we do? What do we do from here? That's a really good question, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect. Now we add some traffic, okay? We want to add some noise, right? And we want to make it like a game situation. Let's add some noise, right? Bunch of noise. This is what I call this stuff, is just noise, right? Just a bunch of noise. So when we get to the table and our opponent scratches, right? It's like, yeah, there's issues, there's stuff going on, there's noise. Now this table looks a lot noisier than the table that I had when we started, right? It's like, well, what do I even do here? Look at all those solids. This is landmines everywhere. Gosh, I'd have to come through here and not hit the 5 and not hit the 7 and not scratch and not hit the 2. Well, let's do it. Let's see if we can do it. That's how we need to train, is put up the noise, work off of our pattern, close, nice little quiet stop shot, stop, didn't go anywhere. Now we're gonna roll through and across to this zone because we wanna roll back and through our zone. We like that because it gives us 2 chances at playing shape. So we go back, through and back, and we end up right there. Still haven't touched anything, we're fine, nothing's messed up here, dude. And now we wanna stay on the high side, because if we get to the low side, we gotta start going towards this 5, we gotta start running towards this thing, we gotta start, like, we could stun it over here. So we wanna be high on this 13, on the high side of the zone, because we wanna be able to just feather it in and come straight down the line. And the flatter we get, the more we bring these other balls into play. So we're gonna stun and come out and stay on the high side, just like that. And now we have a nice, soft, rolling angle to just try to get through and get shape, right? And we wanna not scratch, we wanna not hit the 7 and not hit the 2. So we gotta get ready. And we shoot it. And we don't touch anything, and we come down for the 8. And we train like this with the noise added once we get to 80% on the run note. Then we add the landmines, we add the noise, because the reason why we do that is because when we get to the table, there's going to be noise at times. There's going to be opponent's group, and we're gonna have the ball in hand, and we're gonna be like, it's very distracting to see all these things. You need to be aware of how they affect the run out, right? And you need to think about where they are in relation to your pattern and the shots you're gonna shoot. And all you have to, but once you can start getting through this process of learning how to control this with the components that we're talking about and the components that we teach on this channel, that I teach, the royal we, yeah, then you can put these runouts together, because you can say stop, roll, punch, roll, done. And there's nothing to touch when you do it. And so another tip, okay, and if you guys, I have like dozens maybe of like recent reels where I break and run out with either my break cue or my playing cue. I've got different videos, and just watch those videos if you ever get a chance, or the next time you see them. And I've said it on other videos, but you really, it's very critical to understand that we don't want to touch anything on the table if we don't have to. We only want to do it intentionally, right? So let's say we don't like this run out. Let's say we like something different, right? Like we want some sort of key ball that's, why would you even do it any different? But let's change it, okay? Let's get rid of this. Gosh darn it. And let's say, okay, that's out of the way. Now, is there any reason? Yeah, let's get rid of this too. This is kind of getting, okay, now we could say, all right, we like this because all we need to do, see, this is where people go wrong, is they think, oh, this ball leads to this ball, goes to this ball. And if I'm here, I like shooting this ball here. Well, the problem is that you need to have a really good cue ball in order to make that happen. So you come here and you shoot your first shot, and then you say, okay, as long as I'm like, this is where it goes wrong. As long as I'm like right here, it works. Well, now you realize I can't be right there. It's like impossible to get right there from here. So then you make this adjustment in real time, and you're like, well, I guess I could just play one rail to the 9. So then you play one rail to the 9, and you change your decision, because you definitely want to get rid of this, because you're definitely paranoid it's in the wrong zone, even though it's your key ball. So you change your thing and you say, okay, I'm just going to get on the 9, and you hit it like that. And this is where you end up. And you're like, okay, no problem. These balls both work. But now you can see where my problem is if you know what you're looking for. I can't shoot the 9 back in a row. I could, but I'll probably run into this and not have a shot in the 10. If I shoot this 10, I have to like I'm going to run into the 9 if I draw it, and if I stun it, I'm going to end up here, and then I have to hit some draw shot back on the 9. So right now, when I'm watching people play that leave these balls, this is exactly where they start shitting their pants and realizing that they're screwed. Not when they had ball in hand, because they didn't spend time going through my run-out series. They start realizing now. So then they start deciding, which one is it? Is it this one? Is it thin? Is it corner? I don't really know. And they're just sort of starting to get lost in the shuffle right now and panicking. So then they just say, well, I guess I'm going to shoot this 9 ball, because all I have to do is just go down here and come right back to where the 9 ball is. This is an easy shot because it's close to the pocket. I can just hit this this little drag shot and get right back where I was. And then they do that. And they end up in big trouble, right? So let's go back. Okay, you'd say, well, I'd never shoot that shot, Josh. I'd shoot the 10 ball. It's like, okay, fine. Tell your daddy takes your T-bird away. Okay, we're going to shoot the 10 ball then. We're going to have to not hit the 9. And we end up here. Now, how is this key ball for going to the 8? I'm literally screwed. I have to be able to hit this exact shot right here, which is a good luck under pressure, right? And even when I hit it awesome, I still have a tough cut on the 8 ball, and it's trash, right? So I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. I'm just saying, like, this is why those balls go away. They need to go away. And that's why this ball is a great key ball, is because you don't need to be snap drawing stuff and doing all those things. You can just be good to go. What was this dot for? I don't remember. There's a dot here. Was that the 2 ball or something? Shit, I don't know. No, that wasn't that. I don't know what that dot was for. Okay, what else? All right, so that's the thing. We kind of got that all covered. See if we got any questions. Anybody got any questions? What are we doing? Nope, no one's got any questions. I got to make shit up, so you guys, I got to guess at your questions right now. I'm guessing at your questions. Let's see what other questions you'd have. Yeah? I don't know. All right. Well, I guess that's it. I don't know what other questions you'd have. I kind of wanted to cover why these need to go away and why that's a good key ball. So we'll see. All right. Yeah, that's it. Now let's change it. Let's change it. Let's have a change up, right? Now everything's different, right? Not really. What if I'm trying to think of where these balls could work. And the reality is they only really work well if they're close to the pocket. Like now we're talking, I get it, we can use those balls, and especially if there's a ball here that leads to it, these are more scenarios that you would do this type of situation where you'd go from here to here to here to the 13, right? I don't like this one. So that's it. Those side pockets are fine as long as you have like good key ball before the 8. The problem with it is even if it's one ball, okay, like here, we kind of saw where it doesn't really lead down to the 8. Even if this was open on both sides, if you just simply add some traffic here, this becomes a really bad key ball. Like this scenario right here, this is like a bad scenario. Like you have to, like stuff like that can happen all the time, and you're just sort of, all of a sudden you're in this like losing position if you can't come up with some sort of miracle shot. So these balls, I've talked about in other videos, but this is like, these are usually trouble. The other reason why they're trouble is that they're congestion, right? They are congested because they're close together, and so when you have these runouts, and these balls aren't congested and they kind of lead to each other, right? And also, there's very minimal cue ball movement with it. That's why these need to go away. The other thing is sometimes you could have some sort of scenario like this, and this ball could be down here, right, that you want to get on at some point or whatever, as like an insurance ball or something. And if there's more balls around, what happens is these balls end up congesting, right? Let's say there's another stripe here. Okay, let's do this, right? The reason why these end up congesting is because they can block your paths to those balls, okay? So there's a spot where you could be in this game where you're double hooked. You're hooked on there's probably a spot like right there where you're left with 2 combos, basically. And it's like, you can end up in this situation with congestion like this. Now, if these balls are gone, there's no more congestion. The table is open. So when you're playing 8-ball, and especially when there's a bunch of balls around, this center is like a critical area. And if your balls are congesting this area and you have all these other balls in play, it can really kind of sneak up on you. So it's like a percentage thing. We can just increase our percentages if we clear these first and clear these second, right? And then go down for our final run out. So if we were here and here, right? The cue ball, I like coming out, I come down short, right? Now I have to start working on these balls in this area because this 9 is too thin, the 14 doesn't go. Basically, we'll probably go for the 15, and we come back because we're gonna leave that 12 as a key ball, and then it starts looking like this. We start decelerating, putting some English on it, wiping it in the wrong area, far away, and now we're in this situation. We're back in the same situation where we're running the cue ball all over the place. Nothing's getting shot in the corner. So then do we shoot the ball and run it around the table, or do we shoot the 12 and start playing these are our key balls? And we've already seen what happens when you play these as your last 2 balls, big problems. So we say, no, 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 we're gonna hit the 14 and play back for the 9, right? But then that happens, and it comes running through, and it's very easy to happen. So then you say, oh, okay, well, that's fine because I still have this ball here, and I'm just shooting the ball all around the table, which is fine. It's a lot of cue ball movement. And then I hit this shot, and that happens, right? And then watch. I literally did that on purpose. You have to get lucky to win this game now, and I luckily won the game, but that is not the way you want to play pool. You don't want to play pool by getting lucky. You want to not touch balls. Like, this was 2 inches away from losing the game, and you had to get lucky to have it open up and get shape. You were 2 inches from this and 3 inches from that, right? And that's what happens when you run into balls, stuff like this. So that's why this congestion in the center, if you think of these balls as lots of potential travel on the cue ball because of the thinness that you're going to hit in the sides, and a lot of times you're not going to go for the corners, because if you're a beginner to intermediate, up to like 600s player, it's not common that you see a person choose the tougher shot over the minimal cue ball movement. So when they have these balls in the middle like this, it's very rare that you'll see a player be in like this position here and choose to shoot the 12, because if they shoot the 12, the game's over, right? Like, if I was in this position, I would shoot the 12 because I know that if I just make the 12 in the corner, the game's over. If I shoot the 12 and race the cue ball around the table, the game's not over. So on this situation, because I'm like an experienced player and I know how these balls are difficult and minimal cue ball movement's important, I would shoot the 12, but there's very few players that are like under 700 that would shoot the 12 into like 3/4 of a pocket with a loud 4 and coming in and all that stuff and pressure and jacked up. A lot of times they would go, oh, I'm just gonna come down and travel for the 14 and then I'll figure it out from there. And I'm just saying that these center balls cause a lot of problems. Like, this shot is not an easy shot to hit, and weird stuff can happen. I come back down, it goes and goes and goes, and I have to get lucky to get shape. And even with my lucky shape, I'm literally straight in. I can make it work because I understand if I push it into this facing and I hit reverse English and miss the 6, I can smooth down to the 8. But that's not a shot that like somebody under pressure is really, really great at hitting. That's like in the 400 to like 600 range. That's not their best shot, right? Because most people are just aiming it in the middle of the pocket, and they might aim it in the middle of the pocket and put some English on and draw it, and they end up hooked on the 8. So the whole thing about tonight and this evening is these are problems. They're not good key balls. It's good to get them out of the way. It opens up. It keeps you from getting doubled up from up here on like weird combos where you have insurance balls that get blocked, all that stuff. So those balls go away. Very important. Congested, right? And then stop roll pattern, and then add the noise. Bring the noise, as they say in, I don't know, is that man, 80s reference. Yeah, so there you go. That's it. That's it. So we go stop, close by, boom, and then we go roll. Ooh, we got even some more noise with that ball. So now we got to stop and think. Ooh, we can't get super flat. We want to be right here. I placed the 12 kind of straight. I'm just going to make this one quiet because I think I'm okay staying a little short. Just push through. I want to stay to that high 2/3 zone. And the reason why, because I need to avoid this 4. So I want to be up here. I'm fine if I'm there. So then I just hit a little wipe of low to just stun out, really quiet. And get perfect into my zone. I've hit this shot. I know I want to stay on this side of the 1 towards me, but not check it so close to the 8. I want to hit it thin so I don't have to hit it hard, and I just want to make sure I have enough wipey English on it to push it right down into my big, wide field goal zone. And then I didn't touch anything, nothing bad happened, and it's over. So, okay, I'll check questions. That's it for tonight. Hopefully that was cool. Let's see what you guys got. Iggy! This is a pretty eye-opening for me, Josh. Well, thank you, Ig Castle. Are there any other trouble areas like those center balls? Normally I look out for balls in the middle of a short rail, for example. I don't know, man. Bro, watch the Reynolds series. Iggy, come on. I can't do all this shit for you. No, I'm just kidding. Are there any other trouble areas? Yeah, there are. That's part of that series is talking about congestion, right? There's other congestion issues like this. You'll see in the Reynolds series as you get farther into the series. This is congestion, right? So if, like this is a perfect example. If I got ball in hand, I am for sure taking these balls out first, 100%, because once these are gone, the table's open. The problem is once you leave these balls here and you say, oh, these are my, I'll give you a little bonus congestion thing. Once you leave those balls and say, oh, they're right by the 8, they're great key balls, right? I see it all the time. They're great key balls. Okay, let's check it, right? We're gonna come out here and we're gonna float down. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be no problem, right? Okay, well, I got flat on that ball. And now I'm pounding across my line with outside spin to try to get back on the 7 so I can hopefully get to the 1. But I'm trash. I can't reach it. I'm here. Okay, what do I do when I'm in trouble? I hit it hard with English. That's what I do when I'm in trouble. And I come down and I'm like, oh, look at this. I'm a winner. Wait a second. Because of the congestion and the proximity to each other in the 8 ball, I'm in big trouble. I'm in big trouble. I can't just roll forward and blast into the 8 because the cue ball is going to go up table. Everything bad's going to happen. Now watch the cue ball travel. I got to snap it down on a rope through here with some English to pull it down and get it on the 7. So then I do that and I design the shot and I give up on my English and this happens, okay? Well now, because of all this congestion, all this stuff, now I'm in a battle for my life, right? Whereas if those balls were gone, I wouldn't be playing position at the end of the game like this. It's no good. So you'll see it in a lot of my run out videos. You'll see me clear around the 8. It kind of depends on where they're laying, right? Like if they were laying like this, that's a whole different thing. And especially if there's a ball that kind of leads to it, like here. Like right now, okay, that changes everything, right? Now, those are my key balls, right? Because now I go 4, 3, 1, 6, 7. That changes everything, right? Because then I just go boom, stop. I roll out for a stop shot. The stop shot leads to the 6, leads to the 7. So I come out, I go towards the 1, a little rolling ball. I hit a stop shot, maybe draw it back a couple inches. I don't want to be on this side of it though, so I'm more going to favor the stop shot. Just get away from the channel, just like that. And now I've got a little soft angle, and all I have to do is stay above the 7, like that, and I'm good because now I can just kind of push in the 7 with just a thinking of outside, and I'm really good on the 8. So that's a situation where the proximity to the 8 ball led to an easy run out, but it's not just because of the proximity, it's because of the balls, where the rest of the balls are positioned too. So that's it. That's it. Let's see what you guys got. I just got here at the end. I'm sorry, bro. Sorry, Shane. You're gonna have to go back and look at it. Exactly, Shane. I like that statement when you hit it hard with English. Bro, that is it. When I'm watching people, that's it. Hit it hard with English, bro, when you get in trouble. That's the thing, right? So what I'm teaching on the channel and all these members, and you can ask any member on the channel and they're gonna tell you best thing they ever did was join the channel. So I'm gonna give my infomercial now, right? You gotta join the channel. I'm gonna teach you guys all this stuff every day, pretty much. I'm out here, every day I'm hustling. I'm trying to like just continue to make content and continue to teach, continue to reinforce these ideas and teach you guys how to learn and teach yourselves and then give you like lots of support and lots of love. And you also get a ton of love and support from channel members. So any of these guys in here that have little blue stars, ask them a question in the comments and they'll tell you this cult is money. And this is where you find a great community and you learn a ton about pool, and we're learning it in this really awesome, positive way. And I'll tell you, I got this 8-ball game dialed in, and my runouts are money, okay? So that's it. I'm gonna show you guys these concepts over these videos, and I'm gonna introduce you, to the product a little bit on these Friday nights for a while, and I'm hoping you're gonna join and sign up and start getting into this stuff and really learning how to play pool and learning how to do it in a joyful way and getting around all these awesome members. We're over 100 now, and we're just getting stronger, and we're getting more energy and more help with each other, and it's so cool. It's so cool. So that's it. That's my own commercial. I'm out. I love you guys, and yeah, I hope you give some thought to joining the channel, supporting me and my teaching here, and yeah, don't be a mooch. Chip in. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. Make sure that we can keep the lights on around here. Okay, we'll see you guys. Bye.